Yeah. Thank you, Jovanna. Really, I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm excited to hear your story, to learn more about you, and yeah. How you been? How's
Well, thank you for having me, Byron. I've been well. I'm good. We just finished coming from church, so
yeah?
I'm blessed.
But I feel like I know you a little bit, but there's gonna be a lot of people that they may not know you. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit of your background, your earliest years, and
Oh, my earliest years,
yeah.
so long ago. um, I would say I think my earliest years I was more extroverted. I wanted to be like a star. I was sing and dance for my mom, and I was a happy kid. I did come from, you know, poor beginnings and poverty, but I think I didn't really know the difference when I was growing up. I had great siblings, and I think I was happy. And then I think trauma hit in my mid, like when in my teenage years, and I think that made me more like guarded.
Mm.
So I became more reserved, and I didn't really want to speak to people. I kind of rebel and partied a lot, and
Yeah.
I think I used to say, like, I used to drink a lot, and I felt like that would give me courage to talk to people. I would call it like liquid courage.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I came to Impact, and I came at as I was still partying and still trying to like navigate. And then now I'm serving and I'm a leader, and you know
Yeah.
God is good.
Amen. Yeah. No. But if you go back to your transition, maybe at what point where you started like um, changing those maybe bad habits or the type of life that you would say that you mentioned that going out and
hmm
yeah, what made you just switch that, or like said an encounter with God, I say with yourself, or was it situations? Because I feel like it's not until you go out to like a certain thing or some type of like any event in your life that makes you change.
So I don't think there was like any specific like event that happened in my life. I think there was multiple events. I think God was always calling me to be who I am
Mm,
today. I think I didn't know, right? Because
yeah.
I'm the only member in my family that comes to church. So I didn't know anything. Like that's how I grew up. Like, it's funny, like, I was watching this comedy show the other day, and it's just like it's just cultural. Like you give a child, oh, just give them a little bit of beer, so I think it's just cultural where you're
Yeah.
partying and kids are in the other room, and so that was normal for me. That was like normal life.
Yeah.
I think I just always wanted something different. I just didn't know what it was. Everybody's still like of the world, per se. Like everybody, a lot. I'm like the only one that goes to church. I kind of influence other people now to
Yeah.
change. And I would say like I suffered from a lot of anxiety and depression. Through the grace of God, I don't have those symptoms anymore. It was
Oh,
all
wow.
spiritual. And I think now, people seeing this version of me, it's helping them notice God and seeing how God works. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think alcohol was the mask. It was like, oh, happy, let's party, And I think that was to hide all the problems that would go on in
Mm,
life. That was, I guess, my idol, what I was making an idol. Because I knew God, but I only knew him like when something bad happened, like a car accident, and you're just like, oh God, God, God,
you would call him.
that's what you're trained to
Yeah.
do. So I didn't have a relationship with him. And I didn't know that, I can speak to him daily. I didn't know that he can give me peace in a storm. So I do know that now, and my life is completely different now, and I do recognize his goodness. Mm-hmm.
Amen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it has a lot of big like really like changes in your life, the way you have like the way you speak when it comes to like your life, or the way or what you went through. If I sit down like you here now with the person that you were in front of you, what would be the notable differences in mentality and perspective in life? If you sitting in front of, like, what would be like the difference now, like?
Um, well, I didn't really have a relationship with God, so it was just like when you talk about God, it was just like my ears were shut. Um, and yeah, I think that I'm just totally different. Like I think I was more immature. Um, I think the best way I can answer this, if you could get me to sit down, right? Like I don't think I would probably sit down and be like, no, I'm not doing that. Like it was just, you know, I was just a different breed.
Yeah. No, no. I feel like when we're at that stage, we don't know some of this stuff when you're at that stage of our lives, and especially when someone comes and gives you like an advice, and we don't like take it, we can become as egotistic or arrogant. It's like, no, like I know what I'm doing. It's like, oh, don't
Oh
tell me what to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm good. I'll be fine
Yeah.
until you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. I didn't really speak to anybody that wasn't in my circle. So like, the fact that I'm in community and I have so many different friendships, it just feels freeing, like I felt like before it was just like, you're not in my circle, it's high and that's that. So even the friendship that we have, like so it was just trying to get me to sit down or participate, or I might say I'm gonna do it and never show up.
how was like the experience for you, like leaving the friendships and just because you're no longer sharing the same values
Yeah.
with some of your friends, not that you're gonna not speak with them in a way, but like just some of the values you don't consider them like you don't share with them.
So a lot of, again, so like my whole family doesn't go to church. So a lot of us, we share similar values in the sense as we all believe in God, right? But we do things differently. I think the biggest thing is setting boundaries and learning how to set them well, because you can't shut everybody else that doesn't have the same amount of relationship as you.
Yeah.
So I think I still talk to a lot of people, not necessarily like, my party life has been done for like over 10 years. I'm a mom now, so it's a little different. But I think setting boundaries, and I think just know who you are, and like you said, praying to God and hearing God well. Because sometimes we think it's cutting people off, and sometimes it's the lesson is for you. Sometimes we think, oh, just because somebody else is doing something that is dishonoring God doesn't mean that they're a bad person. They're just fighting the enemy. I think sometimes the lesson is, okay, what is triggering me about this person? And sometimes is you have to work on yourself, or you have to just listen to them, or like, what is the lesson in this? Why is this person triggering you? Why is this person giving you a rough time during that season? And it's just like, what do I need to learn about this? Or what is it that's bothering me about them? Because we live in a society where it's just like, block everybody, stop talking to people. And that's not what I think God really wants. And that was something that I struggled with, because I was quick to block people. If I was talking to a guy and I didn't like the way he spoke to me, block. Or like, I didn't want to talk to him, block. Everybody was blocked, all the time. And I had to learn my lesson, where it was just like,
so more like discerning the type of people,
and yeah, you gotta sometimes you just gotta wait. Sometimes you don't hear God. Everyone's like always saying, oh, I hear God. Sometimes you just gotta wait it out. It will happen. Be still, be still and know, like, if God doesn't want you with a person, it's not gonna be peaceful. It's gonna be chaotic. God is the Prince of Peace, so he's going to constantly give you peace in the storm. So maybe it's just not in the season. Maybe this person is going left and you're going right. It's not necessarily like cutting people off. It's more like we all have an assignment. We all have to fulfill God's will.
Yeah. But like you said, like not everyone. Like the thing is, the world teaches us like, oh, like just focus on yourself and like ignore people, and
Yeah.
but it's so important to have that community, to have the people like also around the people that can support you, and then that can like be there for you too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially when we're young, we really need that, and now be on our own, so because we can make poor choices.
Yeah. I think for me, I didn't necessarily have a community where, like, I think I probably was the toxic one, or the one, the one that was like, who wants to drink? So I think everyone else, like, I think, again, my family are still like partying and drinking, and I just tell them I don't want to drink. So, and I think they're understanding. And I don't see them as much as I would like. Yeah. Because I'm working on other things like my business, school, and stuff. So I think it's just timing and having boundaries and just being like, all right, it's getting late, let me go. Like, versus like staying up till like 4 a.m. and you know, this is New York time, so after parties and things like that, it's just not me no more. You know, I just don't do it. I don't really have to block the community. I just don't go.
No, that's good. Yeah. But it takes a lot of
It
growth.
took years. It took years. So I started going to church in 2018. And I think it wasn't until 2022 where I started to kind of really grasp what was happening. Yeah. Like, I remember, this is probably so bad, I would, you know, I didn't really understand like worship music. So I was like, I don't really know the words. I'm not going. I'm going to come after when the pastor starts speaking. And then now it's just like, that's the number one thing, how you're activating your angels and, you know, you're praising God. And I mean, I think it takes understanding, but if you don't know, you don't know. Like, you know, like I didn't know, you know, my mom didn't go to church. You know, was brought up differently.
But I feel like your relationship with God, especially now or on this stage of your life, I feel like, you know, the more you submit it to Him, the more you get to know Him. I feel like all of these things become easier, you know, even to discern the people, even to make these choices. Because if the less like we are away from God, it's like then you're on your own. Then you're like, then the choices that you can make is like you're really close to the gate of compromise, rather than just being with God. And like it's more like easier than just being on you. Far away, because
it's so good, Byron. It is so good. God is so sovereign and so peaceful. Like I was expressing earlier, I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression, and I go through things still. I just have peace with it. You know, I'm just like, all right, I'll work out. God would take care of it.
Wait, they just mentioned that, you know, the dark phase that you were going through. What do you think, like, is it that you were looking for, maybe? Because some of these things can be internal things. So I feel like we look it up for like external things, like, you know, to fill it up.
Yeah.
So do you know, like, or have an idea? Do you think that it was for you that you were like seeking for? Was it like maybe identity? Was there like?
Oh, Byron, we don't even have enough time to go through how much, how many things I was going through. But to keep it brief, I would say childhood trauma. And I think figuring out who you want to become, I think that's what I dealt with. And like, I did a lot of blaming. I feel like it was everyone's fault, you know, like, and I didn't take accountability. And I think childhood trauma really messed me up, and I think I had to learn how to love myself more, and love God and surrender to His will, and to surrender to His will and trust Him. And I think that's when I started really healing.
Yeah, I'm gonna put down that shelf because I really want to go deeper when it comes to relationship and finding yourself before you even go into a relationship.
Yeah.
But I wanna go back to this question. Like, I don't want to go ahead. So are you like naturally gifted? Are you like this, like, or say you have been learning on your way? It's like determination and just like, you know, trying to like pursue something, or you always like, you know, try to like this, or He's always been on you, like, you know, that's like just gifted, passionate. Or it's like determination. It was just like...
No, I always been like this. I mean, it was waves, right? Because,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, you're like, oh, this is life.
Yeah.
It hits you hard. You're like, oh, this is not it. But I always had drive. Since I can remember when I was little, I wanted to be like a singer
Well, okay.
or a performer. Like I remember, like I would just perform for my mom and my sister. My sister and I are 10 months apart. So I would create all the dance moves and, I have no talent or no moves. I was just, I always was driven and I always wanted to have more in life. I think it just makes it hard when you start from the bottom, like
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have handouts, and then it gets
Ooh,
it gets discouraging and then you add life to it. You
yeah.
add a child, you add being a single mom, so then things just get harder and harder and harder. But yeah, I always been like this. um, I would say I had to work more on my discipline too, and work
Yeah.
more on I fell off, but since I was a little kid, I was like this, and then like you get in your 20s and life starts lifing, and then you get in your 30s, life starts lifing, and in the last couple of years, it's been through the grace of God, like He's been helping me navigate these seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not me now. Like now it's God, because I kind of lost. I lost like that motivation.
Yeah. But so how do you balance all of this? Oh, because you have a lot of things on that you're working on, that you focus on. Okay, like how do you navigate all of this and balance, try to balance everything?
God. God gives me this supernatural like strength. It's only through Him. So I wake up at 5 a.m. I spend time with Him. I do my Bible study. I go to the gym, and that's my routine. That's my secret. It's God.
Wow.
And if I fall out of alignment with that, I can't function. I can't serve. I can't run my business properly. I
Mm-hmm.
can't function without it. He gives me the strength. All glory to God.
Wow. Yeah. No, I can relate because also like you said, your relationship with God, or in the morning, like the first thing, He also determines your day, if you're in a good mood or if you're like tired or like that. But I noticed when you don't pray, or whenever you don't have that connection with Him, you tend to like, well, at least from my experiences,
Yeah.
sometimes like it's like, okay, I wonder why my day is going like this, But when you're with God, it's like, okay, you have peace, you have joy, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, there's gonna be days where it's gonna be some rough days and busy, or you're
Mm-hmm.
tired, but like you're connected with Him in a way. So it's always gonna go back to your relationship with God. It's gonna be days where it will challenge you.
That's why I have to stay close to Him, because I'm a hot mess.
Yes.
Oh, I need Him. I need Him every day. I need Him sometimes. Sometimes I have to go to the restroom to pray. Like I need Him all the
Wow.
time. I pray
Yeah.
over my business. I pray for my child. Like I just need Him all the time. I can't
Yeah.
function without Him. I knew I was gonna enter into like a busy season. So before the season begun, I prayed for balance. So when things, and I just listen, I take my time and I listen. So like, for example, if the church is having something, an event like a development day or a training, and I'm supposed to be there and I work that day, somehow my day would get canceled, or like all my clients would reschedule. So that's how I know I'm supposed to be there. Or if my son has something will happen with my schedule and I would be able to make it to my son's event. So it's all with my business. I partner up with God and I pray and I pray and I pray, and He helps me. Today I knew I had an event, and as I told you, and again I partner up with God, and His coach was able to take my son to basketball, and they live down the street from me, and so it's all glory to God. So
Yeah.
it's just, for people who don't know or believe, they don't really understand. It's just like, oh yeah, God, I'll get to it, I'll pray. No, it's literally, it's every day,
Yeah.
all day. And even sometimes even I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I do need to pray. It's literally praying to him about everything. And I'm so thankful because I'm such a curious person. I love learning. I love just getting deeper into things. Um,
You mentioned it about healing on the stuff that you have gone. What do you think is the value of just finding yourself first, or even healing? Because even recently, Pastor Sensei was just this month about relationship, and when we went to singles night, he mentioned about going like healing those internal wounds and traumas that we, because it does affect us if we don't deal with it or if we ignore it. From your experience, what is that value for you, or in general, like about just healing and internal?
I think everyone should heal in all aspects in life, for not even relationships, but like to be a parent, to be a coworker, to be a business owner. I think you just need to heal overall to just deal with society. Um, it's vital. For me, it was vital. And I think that's how you break the generational curses, or the generational traumas. And I think we come from a bunch of oppression, or we come from, you know, I mean, not even 100 years ago were we slaves, or like, so
Yeah.
that's not that long ago. So it's like, I think we all need to heal, like, um, I think it's important for anything. Like,
Yeah.
if I want to be a good mother, I need to heal, because then whatever happened to me and all the times that I was hit or yelled at, or, um, felt discouraged and didn't feel supported, I'm going to bring that to my kid. So I think it's important to heal. If I want friends, I gotta, I can't talk to my friends anyway. I gotta like,
Yeah.
I can't be like, you're this, you're that. I gotta, be kind and be gentle and have the fruits.
Yeah. Especially when we're about to go in relationship.
Exactly. You can't be mean to your partner, or
Yeah.
you can't, relationships is beautiful. I love love. I can't wait to fall in love. But, you know, I know I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I've done the work. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. And, I can't wait. But I think I've hurt a lot of people.
On your way.
Yeah. 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 I've asked for forgiveness. And I wasn't ready. And I can
Yeah.
admit that even with Emir's dad, I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. I wasn't ready. I had to heal myself. I had to heal my childhood traumas, because I was just projecting, and I wasn't good to
Yeah.
them or myself. There's so many things. I mean, we could go through so many avenues in this conversation. I think
Yeah.
for me, again, my mom was a single mother, and I didn't know how to date or know what I was looking for. I'm like, oh, well, they have their own car, they have a good job. Like, that's what I was looking for. But I think character is like the most important thing. Like, how are they going to treat you when you're sick? How do they treat you when you guys are in disagreement? Their fruits, their character. And I think Pastor touched on a little bit about it with the marriage message. And it's true. It's just like, when you're dating, it's like, how are they treating you? And I think I was always so materialistic and was like, oh, well, they could do this for me or that. It was just very like, I had to learn how to date in, like, I guess that wasn't the appropriate way of dating. And now I know how. And I was broken. So I always attract like emotionally unavailable men, and it was because I was broken. I'm like, oh, they start off with so much confidence, and then I'm just like, who is this person? But I always settled, and I was a people pleaser. So like I would just keep hanging on until like I exploded.
Yeah.
So no, I know my worth now, so thanks to God, you know, I didn't know that before. I had to like learn on my own. I'm like, why do I keep attracting the same men in different body? And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, or, you know, trickier. You're like, oh, this guy is really good. And then you're like, oh, no, he's not. We're all messed up. And I think we're all messed up. I really do think we live in a fallen world. And it's just like, you know, I think it's just prayer, you know, like, again, like partnering up with God to help you pick your person. Like, obviously the men is supposed to pursue you, and praying and really feeling peace when you're finding your partner, you know, and that's how you know it's your partner. Because we're all a hot mess. Like, we're all going through it. We're all fighting things. Nobody's perfect. If you have this list of all these perfect things, you're never gonna, like, you know. No.
Pastor Spencer I think, mentioned this on last week's message about putting your life in order. And I feel like we can try to put maybe financially, maybe we can try other things together.
Yeah.
But of the things that we just been speaking, internal stuff, it's huge.
Yeah.
Because we don't focus. Like, we focus, okay, I'm ready. Maybe I have a house. I have a car. I think I'm financially stable. But those internal wounds, if we don't focus on, I feel like, I don't know.
And I don't think I'm ever going to settle if I don't have that. And I think before I even knew that, I was that kind of person. Like, you know, I've dated some amazing people, but I just feel like I was broken, or like I had things. I was never going to feel loved enough because I had to love myself. Like you said earlier, like finding that love inside of you. Like, I had a bad childhood, and I've dealt with so many different things, and then it just it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I had to like really turn around and love myself. And when that person finds me, or when I find my partner, I'm not going to do it out of desperation. It's going to be out of like, I know what I want. I know what I went through. I've healed. I've done the work. And I know what I'm not going to settle for, you know, like if I meet someone who has went through so much in their life, like, are you in therapy? Like, you know, I know what to look for. You know, I'm not going to fix people up. I'm not their therapist. Go heal, honey. It's two holes that become one, you know? So if I've done the work, they got to do the work. And you know that. You can tell when you're healed. When you're broken, you attract broken people. So...
No. It's so good that we're staying a little on this topic a little bit, because there's gonna be younger girls or guys, whoever, right? That I feel like when you're trying to be in a relationship, we ignore all of this stuff, and we just sometimes we haven't we haven't even defined ourselves, and so like, you know, we're seeking for those stuff, and it's like, okay, it's like we ignore this, and then down the road.
And that's why the divorce rate is up, because we settle for lust, right? Yeah. We, this guy is cute, this girl is cute, and then, you know, you just stay with that. And, you know, women can be loyal to a fault, and you're just like, oh, well, he was so good in the beginning. You know, men are charming in the beginning. And then you have that 3-month period. They start to shift a little bit. And then there's that 6-month period. You know, I say like 9 months is like the golden rule, I think. Like, if they can make it through 9 months. Because, you know, men like to shift. I don't really have tolerance for it. So I don't really have time for shenanigans. You know, so it's just like, I think what women want, I'll speak for myself, because I think everyone wants different things in life. I think what I want is a leader. You know, I want to be able to lead. Not lead. I want to be able to follow someone's lead, but I don't want them to lead me to shenanigans. Like, I got to know that I'm safe. I got to know that you're going to do right, especially in a dating part. Like, I got to feel like, okay, this is going to work out. Like, because I love hard, right? So it's like, this is all I wanted since I was little. I wanted marriage, but it just hasn't happened yet. But I don't want it that bad where I settle, you know? Yeah. I'm not settling, you know? So I don't want a man to like lead me to destruction or lead me. If I'm seeing things in the beginning, I'm just like, oh, this is chaotic. No. Again, when you partner with God, he's the Prince of Peace. So he's, Jesus, he's giving you peace. So if it's not
Yeah.
peace, I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing on the dotted line because I don't want it.
No, it's really important for us, for guys, to know that, because sometimes guys just like try to like, oh, let's rush things and date, and without even know these things, like you said, being a leader, all of these things, and we ignore it, and we just like, oh, we think that it's just about, everything is about love, love.
No,
But it's
lead
not gonna.
well.
Yeah.
Lead well. I think men, I don't know. I think we need to bring back the confidence in men.
Okay.
I think we need to bring back the confidence. They need to lead well. And, if I'm more confident than a man, then it's not going to work out.
Wait, so okay.
I think all women want that. We want a guy to be like, open the door, like, oh, like we want to feel protected. Again, like I do so many things that I'm like in charge of. So it's like when I'm with my man, I kind of want to be like, oh, hi,
Are you hard to date?
Oh, I'm easy. I talk to anything. I could talk to a wall. People like me. A lot of people are like, I don't, it's me. I don't like a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm hard to date. I think I get along with a lot of guys. I think I'm very understanding. I think it's just, I think, again, my level for shenanigans is, like, I just don't tolerate a lot. Like, I might be cool with people, but that doesn't mean it's going to be to the level of dating them, I might not be attracted to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm easy to date. I think I'm chill. But I will say, since I've been healed, I haven't really dated like that. I almost dated one guy, and then I like pushed a date off for a couple weeks, and then I started to see his personality through the phone. And I think that's so important for people to know. It's just like, someone's trying to date you, just kind of like push it off for like a week or two to see how they like interact with you in the phone, and because their true colors will show, and then you don't have to waste your time.
But it's important to stay grounded, I feel like.
Yeah, stay grounded and date slow. Like, don't rush into it. Like you go on one date, don't go on a date the next day, wait another week, like see people's personalities, I think people just rush to date and then boom. And then boom, they don't even like each other, So I think it's just dating slow and really getting to know someone. Pastor did a great sermon on dating. I think he hit all the notes of like observing people and their friends and seeing who people are. I think that's so important, especially in the world of like dating apps and stuff like that. I think seeing who people are is so important, like being friends with someone first sometimes. And I think as you get older, it's harder to become friends with people. So yeah, I don't know. And you don't need that. I love when he said, he was like, you don't need everyone knowing your business. Like, if it doesn't get past a point, then you feel this attachment to people. Like, you got to stay cool with them because they know so much. You open, you were vulnerable. And I don't know. I just feel like that was so good too. Yeah. And I think before too, like when I used to date, I would like do that too. Like I would get so attached and tell them every single thing.
That's another thing.
And it's just like, no, I want to like see your personality. Like, how do you play games? Like, do you get mad if I win? Do you let me win? Stuff like that. Like, that's what you want to observe. And I don't know. Dating's hard right now.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. But what do you think God is teaching you in this season of your life? At this stage of your life, and working your business or being just single right now. What do you think God is teaching you?
I think God is teaching me to be fulfilled in everything I have. But be fulfilled with my business. Be fulfilled with everything. I think we live in a society that's just like go, 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 go. What's the next? What's next? What's next? And I think is be happy with the friends you have. Be happy with the family members you have, you know, God has sent you so many things, and just being grateful in that moment and grateful for everything.
And not rush the season, right? And just
Be in your
get
season.
closer with God.
Be in your season, and that's what I am. I'm in my season, and I'm just trying to steward it well, and yeah, not rushing it. You know, I'm like, what do I need to learn? Like, I'm single now. Okay, I need to be more disciplined. I need to get better at cooking. Like, you know, I could cook, but
But I get better.
get better, like improve in everything,
Yeah.
like in everything you do, like,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to improve and be better for myself, for God.
Especially for the ones that they might, someone out there younger than you that will listen, finding themselves, finding, purpose, or finding, or not just, or not maybe not to the extreme, but just finding their identity, right? Because, and not rush things and just enjoy their season. Because I feel like, especially with social media, it's like a status war zone. It's like we comparing. Oh, this person has this. Oh, he got engaged. She got engaged. It's like what? And then you feel the pressure. It's like, oh, I'm behind. And then you feel like that you're behind. Because society says so. By this age you must be married. By this age, this and that. And it's like you might feel like behind, but it's like you said, just enjoying the season and just
Exactly.
grow your relationship with God too.
Yeah, like all you need is God, and you feel fulfilled. Like, I've never been this. I used to feel lonely a lot, and my son just came back from school vacation. I was home alone, and I'm just like chilling, like not calling people. I'm just living my best life, And I used to feel alone a lot, but I think not rushing the season is a great, and just like not entering the next season and missing the opportunity, what you could have learned in this season,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
like learn everything you need to learn. Like, I'm single now, so I'm back in school. I'm stewarding my business. I just started my business. I'm turning 3. Well, my business is turning 3 in July, so making sure that I'm prepping for that. Preparing myself for that. Healing. I'm in therapy. I'm growing my relationship with God, because, I started later in life. Like, I started in my late 20s to know who God was. So learning who he is and building a community, finding bridesmaids, right? I got to find bridesmaids if I want to get married. So, finding friendships that I feel like, and praying about them. So, yeah, I'm in this season, and I think you need to enjoy where you're at. And if your friends are getting engaged, you need to be happy for your friends. It's not fair for you to be like, oh, well, it's my turn. No, honey, it will be your turn one day. Be happy for other people. Like, you shouldn't be jealous or envious for anybody, because your time will come.
And I feel the pressure too. Like I said, with the social media, you will see it like, here. And
no, I'm gonna be 35, and I'm looking younger and younger. So God is blessing me. So whenever He's ready to send me my husband, I'm fine. And I think when you marry older, you tend to have your soulmate, and I think there's studies on that too. Like, sometimes you marry too young. If you're not in church, usually people in church stay, but like if you're not in church, you tend to divorce because your frontal lobe is not developed. So your decision making, I'm just now becoming an adult. It just developed like last year. I'm just kidding, but yeah.
No.
And you don't know any better, right? Because sometimes your parents are sometimes unique, and you have to learn all of this on your own, and it's hard because who's your examples, right? I don't come from parents who were married, and does that mean that I'm not going to get married? No, it means, I had a lot of healing to do. If that's something, if I want to get married, I have a lot of healing to do. Well, I've done a lot of healing, but if I want, to seek God in my relationship and get married, I think it's important to heal and like.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's really good. I know someone will be blessed hearing that. And I wish I hear some of this stuff when we were.
Yeah. Like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't
maybe.
know any of it. I
Yeah,
didn't know like to
no,
go to school. I
that's
didn't know any of it.
yeah.
So me going back to school was just like something that was, you know, a long goal for me, because I remember when I was younger, someone was like, you're not going to make it past high school. Because I would just party. And, you know, even then in high school, I was just like, you know,
Yeah.
fun, skipping school and not doing what I was supposed to. And I just thought that was normal. Nobody was telling me not to do that, you know. I didn't have someone to be like, girl, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you know. And so it's just been a long goal of mine to accomplish, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity. I'm so grateful for the way life has turned out. And it took like a lot of like bumps and like, you know, took me out of like, you know, just different ways. And I'm just grateful for the route, because I see a life without God. I lived a life without God, and I would choose a life with God. Like is not even a number that can compare to the life, because I have so much peace, you know. Nothing, no alcohol, no weed, no partying, no dude. Nothing compares to like having Jesus in your life. Nothing.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, because I feel like also that also when I hear that it hits home for me too, because I don't know, I feel like when I think back and I feel like what if, you know, God didn't step in, or, you know, didn't get close to him.
Yeah.
I don't know, you probably make the same mistake. So who
You
knows?
keep doing the same thing over and over and over until you learn your lesson. Like I've seen my life, I'm like, oh, that happened to me before. That I dated that guy before, and you just keep going through it, going through it, and then I still hear it now with like, again, I'm a hairstylist, so I like hear the same stories. I'm like, if they had God, they would just stop, you know, like. So you just keep going through the same thing over and over until you learn the lesson.
Yeah. But I'm so happy for you now that the things that you have learned, that you have experienced your relationship with God, because you have a son. So now it's like you're able now to lead him to, you know, to grow with them, and also to like, you know, to teach him and with example, right? And he will learn that. So I feel like, you know, God is so good. But I was gonna ask you that last question. I was gonna leave that question for last. But what would it be? Because I want to finish with something else. But what would be a message for like younger adults? You know, that are seeking. You know, maybe like, probably like they want to get in a relationship. From the lessons you have learned, like a message for them and overall, like about God, relationship. What would, you know, if you can leave them with a message? You know, like lessons that you have learned that. It's just life lessons overall.
Yeah. A life lessons. Just go to him before you go to anyone else.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to him before you go to anyone else, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, go to him before you go to anyone else. That's all I can say. Yeah. I think we tend to like vent to so many people, and then we're tired and we don't even tell God, you know, and he's the only one that really can fix the issue.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Any future goals? Like, what are you working on right now? You know, like anything that
my future goals. I think my future goals is I'm just kind of in a place where I'm just allowing God to navigate things. I have a business already. And yeah, I'm just kind of at a crossing point and praying and asking God, what's my next steps? Like, what do you want from me? What do you want me to do? How can I serve you better? Give me the strength to serve you better. Give me, fill up my cup, fill me with the Holy Spirit, fill me with my fruits. So just continue to work on myself until I feel like God, you know, gives me more desires. You know, steward what I have already.
Yeah. Thank you, Jovanna, really for being open. It takes courage to be open and say these things, but also it comes from a place of maturity, knowing yourself. And like you said one time, I don't know, I think a couple of days when we spoke about this, and you say you're not insecure. That's huge, because a lot of us can be insecure thank you again for just share this, and I know a lot of people can relate to some of the things that we have spoken. So, but I'm so thankful, really, for everything you have said and just come here and share with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You know, I'm proud of you because
Thank
this is
you.
something that you've been wanting to do for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
since last
Yeah.
summer, you're like, I want you on my podcast. So
Yeah, I
I'm just
know.
proud that the day is here and that we're able to do this. And I'm here for you and I'm proud of you. Congrats.